Greeting. Greeting. Following is the translation of the today Q&A into English. Question number 1. Dear Venerable, I recently learned about Vipassana Meditation. From what I read, I need to be careful when practicing Vipassana Meditation so as not to mix up with suggestion meditation, effort meditation, labeling, awareness meditation, concentration meditation, and contemplation meditation. I try to learn more about those types of meditation, especially contemplation meditation, but the information is not clear. Please explain, when I do Vipassana meditation, how I can tell if I practice correctly. What is contemplation meditation, and why is it easy to fall for contemplation meditation when one does Vipassana meditation? Thank you, Bhante. Bhante is a Pali word for venerable. Excuse me. So for this answer, the Bhante read about the Mahasatipatthana Sutta in Pali and in Vietnamese. So I will try to recite them here. Please wait just a minute. So in order to answer this question, the teacher, the Venerable, read the excerpt from the Mahasatipatthana Sutta. The Pali is Ekayano ayang bhikkhave meggo satanang visuddhiya soka paridevanam samati kamaya dukkha domana sanam attanga maya nyayasa adiga maya nibbanasa sati kiriyaya. What it means is, this is the only way, bhikkhus, for the purification of beings, for the overcoming of sorrow and lamentation, for the disappearance of pain and grief, for reaching the noble path, for the realization of nibbana. And for the instruction on how to practice, Buddha said, Yadidang chattaro satipatthana katame chattaro ida bhikkhave bhikkhu kaye kayanupasi viharati atapi sampajano satima vineya loke abhija domanasam. It means, namely, the four foundations of mindfulness. What are the four? Here in this teaching, bhikkhus, a bhikkhu dwells contemplating the body in the body, ardent, clearly comprehending and mindful, removing desire and discontent in the world. A bhikkhu dwells contemplating the feeling in the feelings, ardent, clearly comprehending and mindful, removing desire and discontent in the world. A bhikkhu dwells contemplating the consciousness in the consciousness, ardent, clearly comprehending and mindful, removing desire and discontent in the world. A bhikkhu dwells contemplating the Dharma in the Dharmas, ardent, clearly comprehending and mindful, removing desire and discontent in the world. So in this sutta, the Buddha taught us how to practice meditation and the benefits that Vipassana meditation bring for us. The benefit of the Vipassana practice is for the mental purification, overcoming all of these suffering and reaching the noble path and Nibbana. So in regard to meditation, there are two main types. One is insight or Vipassana. The other one is concentration or samatha meditation. When we do meditation, if the objects, if we only pay attention to one object, and if that object is a concept, therefore it does not change. So when we do that, that is concentration meditation. So for the concentration or samatha meditation, the object is only one object, and that object does not change. And the object is a concept, and concept does not change. But for the insight or Vipassana meditation, the object changes constantly, and the object can be anything in this mind and body. And the object is the absolute truth. Because it is the absolute truth, it changes constantly. And the way we do the insight meditation is we have awareness, we have mindfulness on four foundations, four areas. One is on the body, the other one is on the feelings, next one is on the mind, and the fourth one is on Dharma. So in regard to paying attention to the bodily object, to the body. So when we pay attention to those objects, and those objects are, for example, awareing of the in-breath and out-breath, or awareing of rising and falling in the abdomen, awareing of lifting, walking, moving forward, or bending the body. So those are the objects in regard to the body. And when we pay attention, we will notice that they have their own individual special characteristic. For example, when we pay attention to the in-breath and the out-breath, we notice that there is the sensation of vibration of the air near the nostril area, at the philtrum area, the vertical space below the nostrils and above the upper lips. So with the in-breath and the out-breath, when we pay attention, we notice that there is the vibration, the sensation of vibration, the sensation of movement of the air. And that is the special characteristic of the air element. And we also sense that it is warmth or is cool. Warmth or cool is the special characteristic of the fire element. And when we do the walking meditation, paying attention to the sensation, we notice that when we put the foot down on the ground, there is the sensation of hardness and different degree of hardness or softness. So hardness or softness are the special characteristic of the earth element. And we notice that these hardness, softness, warmth, cold, vibration, motion, those things, they cannot cognize, they don't know. But there is the awareness, there is the mind that can cognize. So that means when we practice meditation, having mindfulness, having a good concentration plus mindfulness, we realize that there are nothing but the continuation of the mind and the body. There is nothing else beside those things. The mind is something that can cognize, and other things cannot cognize. Other things like hardness, softness, vibration, hot, cold, those things cannot know, they cannot cognize, but the mind can. So in this being, there are nothing but the body and the mind. So when we pay attention, we notice that. And that is the special characteristic. Then when the awareness is getting stronger, concentration is getting stronger, we notice that with the in-breath and the out-breath, they are changing. We cannot inhale all the time. It has to stop. We cannot exhale all the time. It has to stop. So there is in and then out, and then in and then out. There is changing all the time. There is a continuous changing. So that is another characteristic, and that is a common characteristic, because whatever we observe, whether the in-breath or the out-breath, whether the thinking, the walking, it will arise and then it just stop. So there is a change. There is a continuous changing. And when we practice for some time, we notice not only there is change, but there is the discomfort, the suffering, not comfortable because of the change. And we cannot control those things. So changing, discomfort, and cannot control the situation are all common characteristics of this mind and body. So with the insight meditation or Vipassana meditation, with the mindfulness, we notice the characteristics, the individual characteristics, and the common characteristics of mind and body. The common characteristics of mind and body are changing, discomfort, suffering, and uncontrollable. When a person can pay attention to the objects continuously arising in this mind and body, then there is no chance for for the yogis to wonder, to think. That is the end of the first question. Second question. Dear Venerable, please explain the meaning of the story. The Buddha picked up a lotus flower and only Mahakassapa understood. Thank you, Bante. So the answer for this question is, when the Bodhisattva was about to become enlightened. Bodhisattva is a word for someone who is on the path to become a Buddha. So when the Buddha to be, the Bodhisattva, was about to become enlightened, then Mara, the king of the evil one, came down from the Deva world, from up above. So he came to the Buddha and he would like the Buddha to get off of his seat and to stop practicing. But at that time, the Bodhisattva already made a vow to himself that he would not get up from the seat until he became enlightened. And then the Bodhisattva kept on practicing. He was able to see all of his past lives. And then he was able to see beings, the beings who die, and because of their past karma, of their past actions, they would reborn at a certain places. So the Bodhisattva was able to link the understanding of the law of cause and effect. Because of these actions, this being, after passing away, would reborn at a certain place. And then, continuing with the practice, the Bodhisattva, aware of his mind and body. And in this mind and body, there is the combination of continuous change of mind and body, and they change continuously. And the mind changes 17 times faster than the body. In this mind and body, everything is changing very fast and continuously. So changing is impermanence, and because of the change, it is suffering. And once there is change, no one can control it. So the Bodhisattva also realized that it is the uncontrollable factor in this mind and body. This mind and body just flow according to their own conditions. They change, and because of change, there is suffering. And no one can stop that cycle at all. And because of experiencing the continuous change like that, the Bodhisattva did not attach, or he let go of the attachment to the mind and body. And once he let go of the attachment, the craving, then the suffering would stop. So once a person let go of the craving, that means he let go of the cause of suffering. When there is no craving, there is no suffering. When there is no craving, there is no rebirth. No rebirth, no cycle of When there is no rebirth, there is no samsara, no cycle of rebirth. That means there's no more suffering. So when the Bodhisattva sat under the Bodhi tree, and when the Mara came, at that time the Bodhisattva pointed his hand down to the earth. And he told Mara that he cultivate parami to the perfection. He cultivate the generosity perfection. He cultivated the morality perfection to the utmost perfect. And the earth is the only thing that can witness to his perfection. Therefore, he pointed his hand down to the earth, because only the earth is his witness throughout the long cycle that he cultivate the parami perfection. And after enlightenment, the Buddha taught to the first 5 monks with the head monk named Kondanya. At that time, the Buddha pointed his hand down to the earth. And in that talk, the Buddha told these 5 monks that he was the enlightened being. He found the path that will lead to the end of suffering. And that path is the middle path. And middle path means it is in the middle. It avoids both extreme of self-mortification and self-indulgence. And that middle path is the Noble Eightfold Path, which are right view, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. And Sayadaw mentioned that about the story of the Buddha hold the lotus flower, and the Mahakassapa understood in regard to that story. Bante or the Sayadaw or the Venerable have not encountered. So that is the end of the second question. For the third question is, Dear Venerable, I realize that with the practice, Dear Venerable, I realize that with practice, if one follows the conventional truth, then one will be further from the Dharma path, further away from the truth. If one practices and still sees that I practice, then one is not with the present, but running after the self. And that is not seeing the real nature of Dharma. Am I understanding that correctly? Please advise me. Thank you, Venerable. The answer is, your understanding is correct, and there is no need for further explanation. I just have one comment. We should believe in an enlightened being who escaped from all of these suffering conditions. And we suffer because of the conditions. And birth is suffering, aging is suffering, sickness is suffering, inescapable death is also suffering. We do not know when death will come, where we will be reborn. Our karma will lead us to the appropriate reborn place. So, if we want to be reborn in a happy realm, then we need to do wholesome actions. And that is the end for that question. Next question. Question number 4. It is a poem. Dear Venerable, on the occasion of the end of your 73rd rain retreat, I wish you good health and all of your wishes come true. I am offering you this poem for the exaltation of the Venerable's achievement and our gratitude. And the Venerable accept the poem with the word, well done, well done, well done. I am not able to translate the poem, but the meaning of it is the exaltation of the Venerable achievement and our gratitude. Question number 5. Dear Venerable, would you please explain what is a Sima house? If I offer Katina robe in a hall which is not a Sima house, would that offering be valid? Thank you very much, Venerable. The answer is, Sima house is a boundary of a place where Sangha or monks do the Sangha functions like ordination, pavarana, etc. And in order to have a proper Sima house, we have to invite all the monks in that area to come and do certain recitations. And to answer this question is in regard to offering Katina robe. So, Bante's question is, even if the place is not a Sima house, the Katina robe offering is still valid because it is the offering for many monks. The monks who enter the rain retreat for the full 3 months will be able to receive the Katina robes. Katina robe is done after the rain retreat, and the monk has 1 full month to do the robe offering. They can pick any time during that full month. That is the 1 month after the rain retreat. And that offering robe is called Katina robe offering. So devotees can offer robes anytime throughout the year, and the donors will have benefits. But for the monks, he only has the benefit of the robe. But offering robe during the Katina brings benefits to both donors and monks. After receiving the Katina robes, the monks have 5 benefits. And one of the benefits is being able to accept invitation to go out without informing other monks. And that is not violating the rules. Before the Katina robe offering, going out without informing other monks is violating the rule. But after the Katina robe offering, that is acceptable. And the origin of the Katina robe offering is, during the Buddha time, there were 30 monks who visited the Buddha after the rain retreat. And when the Buddha saw the monks with the robes that were torn from traveling and were dirty from all of the muddy rain water, the Buddha allowed the monks who enter a full 3 months of rain retreat to accept the katina robes. The teacher also mentioned that the Buddha was liberated from the 3 existences, and he taught us the way to get out of the cycle of rebirth, get out of the cycle of suffering through the practice of the Noble Eightfold Path. And with the practice, we will be able to see that everything is changing, suffering, and having no substance. Once we experience that everything is changing, then we cannot hold on to it. We cannot cling to it. We cannot crave it. Once there is no clinging, no attachment, no craving, there is no suffering. There is no karma created. There is no rebirth. There is no cycle of samsara. There is no cycle of rebirth. Then we can end that cycle of suffering. And that is Nibbana. Nibbana has no greed, no aversion, and no delusion. So with that, the Venerable ends the today Q&A. Thank you very much.